What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about some of the best drills and tips to help you throw a perfect spiral. Let's get started. Now, before we get into this video, fellas, if you're a quarterback and would like to train with us this offseason, we're going to be coming out to 15 more states across the U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. So check out that very first link in the description below if we are coming to a city or state near you. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Miami, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, Portland, Oregon, Charlotte, North Carolina. Then we'll be coming out to Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Buffalo, New York. Then we'll be coming out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Boise, Idaho, Detroit, Michigan, and Los Angeles, California. So again, if we're coming to a city or state near you and you would like to train with us, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. Let's get back to this video. All right, guys, so the first thing that I want to talk about that's going to help with this spiral is going to be your wrist flick and the last finger to touch this football. So a lot of times, so many wide receivers have this football come off of their their ring finger, their pinky finger, maybe even their thumb. They push the ball. They don't have that ball spin off of their fingers, and the last two fingers to touch the ball should be your middle finger and your index finger. Those are your spiral fingers. That's what you should have the most pressure on the football with, and this is going to be a great drill to help with that. So again, when you guys release the ball, there are a lot of things that tie into getting to this position, which we're going to cover in the remainder of this video, like your front side, like your hips, like your head placement. There are a lot of things that tie into a spiral that you may not actually know about, other than just your wrist and your grip, right? So when you let go of the ball, when we go through, we want to make sure that we are extending down. A lot of quarterbacks like to go here with their palm facing up. Some quarterback coaches will teach that you want your palm to be turned completely out to the side. That never worked the best for me. I was always more so like coming down with my release, but you definitely don't want the palm up. You definitely don't want to short arm it and push back. You want to snap and finish. Last two fingers to touch the ball are the index and the middle finger. So this drill, it's simple. All you're going to do is you're going to stand with the partner and you're just going to put your front hand. So let's say you're a righty. If you're a lefty, this would just obviously be the opposite way, but you're going to hold your front elbow with your left hand. And all you were going to do is you were just going to toss the ball to your partner and you're going to let this ball roll off of your index and middle finger, working on that spin. So that's all you're going to do. Reason why we're holding the elbow is so you guys don't dip the elbow and you're not here with the elbow. Elbow should be even with your shoulder, slight dip back. Don't let the nose of the football turn up, slight dip back, and just letting this thing roll off of your hand. I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed. All right, guys, so the next thing that I would like to talk about today in terms of the spiral is going to be your grip. So I don't necessarily mean like how you guys are placing your hand on the ball. I think I have a pretty much like kind of classic traditional type grip where like your ring finger is on the second thread of the ball, index finger's up high but not super high, like this middle finger is just over the top of the top thread. Like that's probably a classic grip if you guys struggle with maybe the grip, but I've seen a million different grips that work for a million different quarterbacks, so like it really doesn't matter too much about the hand placement. What matters the most about your grip is that your palm is not on the ball. So when you guys, so many quarterbacks, because maybe they have small hands, maybe they're trying to grip the ball too hard, their palm will be all over this ball, and it is incredibly challenging to be able to snap your wrist and get that flick like we were talking about in the last clip when your palm is all over the ball. Because again, and it really happens with guys who have smaller hands because they're just trying to get a grip on the ball. But when you palm the ball and you go back with the ball at your release point, the nose is tilted downward. That's why we're not able to get that spin. That's why we're not able to get that flick. When you guys come through on the throw, you want that nose of the football pointed towards the target. You want your hips to be leading through so we can snap and get that whip of my arm. So it starts with the grip, obviously. So this is going to be a great drill to help you guys do that, because a lot of guys who have smaller hands, you got to understand that grip strength is more important than hand size for this respect. Because again, you don't grip the ball with your palm, so it doesn't matter how big your hands are. What matters is how strong your grip is. This is a simple drill that you can do, especially if you have a weak grip. You're really going to feel this. If you have a stronger grip or on the stronger side already, what you want to do is you want to try to get probably about maybe 200 reps of this specific drill. Now I know 200 seems crazy, but you'll see what I mean in a second. So all you're going to do, holding the ball, you're just going to do these tiny catches around the ball, and you are not letting your palm touch the ball. That's all we are doing, just tiny catches all the way around the ball. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to do that all the way for 200, and you will feel that in your forearm. You'll feel that in your hand, your fingers. That is one of the best ways to strengthen that hand. So when you're actually gripping the ball, we're comfortable gripping the ball without my palm being all over this thing for a consistent and perfect spiral. All right, guys, so one of the next thing that a lot of people don't know about throwing a perfect spiral is something called extension. So how many times have you guys thrown a bad pass and a lot of coaches will say, oh, hey, just flick your wrist to the target a little bit more, right? I think we all have if we're all quarterbacks. That's kind of bad advice because sometimes you're just not in a mechanically efficient position to flick your wrist to the target because you have something called a wild front side when you throw. So when you throw, like, if you want to think of it like your spine, that's totally fine. But I think of it more just like an imaginary line that goes down the middle of your body. They call it a midline, right? So when your midline, when your front side does something to pull your release off the midline, that prevents you from getting to a position called extension. So like, let's say, for example, you're going to throw. Old school quarterback method that a lot of coaches used to teach would be take this front elbow, pull it down to your hip for power. But what that does sometimes is that will pull your head, your shoulder off this midline, which can lengthen your release up high. You have this real high, like baseball type release, and that sometimes can prevent a spiral. Now, another one that will prevent a spiral, and why a lot of quarterbacks finish the throw with their palm upward like this, remember we talked about that's not proper flick of your wrist to get that spin, is guys will take this shoulder and they will open up, pulling their arm off the midline here, coming across their frame. And sometimes that can prevent, again, that split or that spin of the ball. So we want to be able to keep my hand up by my face like I am eating a sandwich when I throw. So you're here, you go back with the ball, you want this hand to be here. You want your shoulders to stay level, hand to be by your face like you're eating a sandwich, so we can actually snap and get to that extension position. I can't get to extension if my front side is pulling me out of frame. My arm's off the midline, I'm coming across, I'm coming down. But if I stay in there, I can just extend and really snap to get that good finish on the ball. So this is a simple drill that you can do for that. You're gonna take your front hand, you're gonna put your thumb inside your t-shirt. Works the best with the dry fit. You're gonna hold the football just like how you normally would, and you're gonna throw keeping your thumb inside your t-shirt. So if you're a guy who struggles with that front side, easy drill that you can do when you're warming up, throwing with your dad, your brother, throwing at a net, whatever it is to work on that stable front side, help us with extension. Gonna feel weird at first, but that ultimately will give you a more consistent spiral in the long run. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like to come out and train with us in 15 different states this year, all the way from San Francisco to Miami, Texas, Philadelphia, all over the country, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our off-season camps. I'll see you guys next time.